Hey guys, welcome to part 9 of my reference playlist. As I mentioned last time, this is actually a piece that will be part of a later upcoming project, but it's interesting enough as a standalone item to cover in one of these more detailed videos. Well, that's what I think anyway. So with that in mind, for today's video I'll be making a tote bag. A big giant tote bag, you know the ones I mean. Okay, so it's not going to be that giant or that big, but you know what I mean. Let's get into it. The materials you will need mostly depend on just how much you truly hate yourself. In my case, I have a choice of materials here, either the DMC yarn in different weights or the double knit yarn. Obviously, the thinner the yarn, the smaller the crochet hook, and the more infuriating and frustrating this process becomes. But the bag will be smaller and cuter, so pick your poison. You will also need some faux leather, and I have these leather sheets for that. You can purchase leather and wooden bag bases online, but I'll show you how to make your own. You will also need some beads to match the size of your yarn. The smallest I went with was the 80 beads for the DMC size 5 threads. For the purposes of this video, I will be scaling things up just a tad so it's easier to see, and using pony beads and the double knit yarn instead. So you will have to use a theatre of the mind and imagine that I'm working at a smaller size. You will see some smaller bags towards the end, so look out for those. For my base, I chose this kind of rectangular oval shape. It's more of a rectoval. Rectoval sounds weird. Squoval, but it's not really a square. You know what I mean. I prepared the paper template and cut it out, basically. That's all I did. I then folded it in half to establish the middle of the bag and then marked where the holes were going to be. With that done, I then used the template to cut out the leather and then transferred the markings onto the leather piece. After that, I used a leather punch to punch out the holes into the faux leather. With the base prepped, now I need some beads. For this one, I have some mixed colour pony beads in the pink, white and some clear glitter beads. Since I'm scaling up this project so that you can clearly see exactly what is going on, I'll be using this wooden bag base. I got these from Amazon. You don't need to type in anything specific, but they're just wooden bases with pre-drilled holes. Or pre-cut holes. They look laser cut to me. Anyway, using the pink DK yarn, I start to crochet around it using single crochet. I think I placed roughly 3 single crochet in each hole around the entire base to make up the first round. In the next round, I do half double crochets to build up the bottom of the bag just a tiny bit to give it some height. There are two ways to add the beads into the crochet. The first, which is my personal go-to method, is to string all the beads onto your yarn before you begin to crochet. The other option is to grab the beads one at a time as you go. Now, there are benefits and drawbacks to both, and with the first method, you have to pretty much have all the beads strung onto the yarn up front, which is a job in its own right. The latter method avoids that, but it can be incredibly frustrating if you don't have a perfectly sized hook. It has to go into the beads and be able to pass double the thickness of your yarn through that bead as well on the way back out. For this piece, I'll be using the second method today, and because of that, I have my pony beads prepared and put into a nice pot I can easily reach. I alternate between beaded rounds and non-beaded rounds for this bag, just to speed things up a bit. But you can of course go with whatever pattern you choose. Try it with all beaded rounds, or maybe have 2 beaded rounds at the top and bottom for decoration, or you can just do 1 beaded round in the middle. The possibilities are endless. It's really up to your own creativity where you want to go. I'll zoom in the camera here as I add the beads so you can better see what I'm doing. I'll probably just mess up if I try to explain in detail. So here we go. Just grab a snack, sit back and watch. Do note that I'm separating the beads with 2 half double crochet stitches. That way the beads have room to breathe on either side of each other. I'll also be separating the rounds with 2 full rows of half double crochet stitches. Again, this is just to help the bag work up faster so that I can reach the end and show you how to do the straps. So just a side note, with the first method of beading, the beads will be on the outside of the crochet work, but doing them individually, the beads end up being in the middle of the stitches, because obviously that stitch has passed through the bead. So depending on the look you want for your bag, you might want to choose method 1 or method 2. Go ahead and crochet 2 rows of half double crochet stitches before switching back to adding beads. Repeat the previous steps until you reach the desired size of your bag. Once you have reached the desired depth of your bag, go ahead and crochet some straps in the last round. I have covered bag straps so many times now, so I won't bore you by going through it here again. Instead, I will link some useful videos where I go through this in more detail. But you can essentially crochet these straps separately and sew them onto the bag after the fact. Or you can use chain and jump rings to make the straps as well. Anyway guys, with that we're nearly done. Do give this a go, experiment and have fun making your own beaded bags and see what you can come up with. Please feel free to share anything that you make with me, and my socials are in the link below, so tag me if you would like. As always, if you'd like to see more, then please like, share, comment and even consider subscribing. If you are feeling generous, then also please consider buying me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi. The link to my Ko-fi page will be included in the description box below, and any and all donations will be greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to hit that bell button to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that, enjoy the beauty shots and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!